Hello, my name is Vicky Saumarez and I'm carrying on explaining my setup of working on a still life at home. In the last videos I did a bit about setting up your still life and site size, and in this one I've got just a very simple still life set up in our bedroom at home, using the same tablecloth, a pot and some flowers from the garden. So I'm keeping it really simple, straightforward. I've got a little board here that I explained before, which is literally just hardboard from B&Q with a gesso primer on it. You can get this gesso primer not from IKEA, as I said in the last video, but actually from Cass Art, and they might be able to deliver it for you. This is a plain gesso primer in white, but I mixed in some acrylic browns and blacks to make a sort of muddy grey colour. The reason you want a colour in the background is because if you're going to work on a white background, you will have trouble getting your tones dark enough. You will always err on the side of getting your tones too light. So give yourself a neutral background, a grey, or maybe even a little bit darker than I've got here. The same goes with your palette. My palette is filthy here, but if you work on a white paper palette, they're great because you can rip them up and throw them away afterwards. But the fact that they are white might give you problems with getting the colours right. I've had students mixing colours, and they're finding that when they put them onto the board, it looks too light because what they've mixed here against the white background will err on the light side. So if you have got a palette, a wooden palette is the best. Otherwise, just find like the backing from an old watercolour or something and use that as a palette. That's fine, anything like that. So I've drawn in the structure of the still life here, as I described before, using site size, and I've just got the edges and the general shape of the flowers. So just to show you again, always measure from the same vantage point, which should be back here, out of sight, raising your arms and holding them straight, closing one eye and lining up the line across. So I'm lining up across here and across my board to show where the points are up and down. On this one, I made a central line because of the centre of the pot. It has to be symmetrical, and you can cheat. If you get one side of the pot right, you can trace it, draw the back and copy it across to be accurate so that you get it absolutely right, because otherwise it'll always look wobbly. And it's worth getting the drawing in the early stages of something like this before you go for painting, because you'll just spend hours pushing it around trying to get it to look right, and if it doesn't look right in the beginning, you're going to have trouble later on. So once I've got the drawing in, finish that, paint. I've got quite a few brushes here, all of different sizes. I've got the larger hog brushes of a filbert shape, like this, and these are like the hard bristle brushes. These are good for blocking in large areas and getting things covered quickly. I've also got these soft nylon brushes from Tiger for a couple of pounds. So when the world opens again, it's worth going to buy some of these. And they are very useful. Again, it's the same shape, the sort of filbert, slightly curved end, flat brushes. I've also got, very important, is a few very good fine sable brushes that actually are getting a little bit hairy now and I need to replace. But for fine detail, sable is the way to go, I'm afraid. Colour-wise, these are all oil paints. I have got a titanium white, a yellow ochre, I've got a cadmium yellow and a lemon yellow. I don't usually have these yellows on my palette, but they are specifically for this still life because I've got these different shades of yellow. I've got a cadmium red, an ultramarine blue, a raw umber and a black. I will take away colours and add colours as I go because I don't quite know what I will need here. Greens are very variable and you need a different palette for every set of greens that you use, and until I've started painting and added other shades of blue that I might need to mix with the yellows, I won't know exactly what I will need. So to start with, what you want to do when you start your painting is look for your darkest darks and your lightest lights. So I will be blocking in the areas that I find the darkest and then finding these brightest lights on the flowers. So that will be in my next video. Thank you.